What up, dudes? It's Gaz, and welcome back to the Warframe video. Today we got a meta void trace farming guide for 2024. With strategies in today's video, you'll be refining as many relics as possible, as quickly as possible. And yeah, we get tons and tons of gold parts, hopefully. So let's get right into it. But before we do, make sure you sub to this channel. We do daily Warframe video uploads, everything from farming guides, news videos, build videos, etc., etc. Also, check out the live stream channel as well. Pretty much all the footage shown in today's video was recorded live on stream at one point or another. So if you want to come get some of these strats on lock before I put them in a video, come on, stop by. Alright, so let's get right into it as far as the Void Traces Farming Guide. Now, these things, you basically need 100 of them to refine a relic, to make it a RAD relic. And also you can make things like flawless relics and exceptional relics too, but mainly people do RAD relics. So going over here just to look at one of these relics, the one I like to RAD right now is the Neo H3. So when we have enhanced the drop, or we refine the relic, we go from having a very low drop rate for this rare Hydroid part to going to a lot higher of a drop rate. That little golden bar right there is how high the drop rate's going to be technically. And yeah, that's what we're doing right now. We want to get these 100 traces as quickly as possible. So the strats we'll be showing today are going to be getting these traces to drop basically in excessive amounts. You can only hold 1,800 maximum as a LR4. If you're lower MR than LR4, you'll be able to hold like 1,000 or whatever. So yeah, that's the thing. Try to get to 1,000 or like whatever your maximum cap is as quickly as possible. So in this clip right here, I got 432 of those void traces from one relic open. We're going to be showing that kind of strategy today and some other strategies too. So 432 traces in one relic is 4 rad relics at this, basically instantly. So that's good. And also we got 32 steel essence from that acolyte to boot. So let's start going over that strategy of what you can go for, what kind of missions you should be seeking out for this this farming strategy. And that was going to be a disruption fissure. The disruption fissures are going to be the quickest way to get your reactant, and that's what I recommend to most people. The problem is, and this is just in Warframe in general, fissures in Warframe are RNG. So as you can see right here, like if I want to do that exact mission I was doing, it's called Olympus on Mars, but the fissure version of it, I have no way of actually actively seeking this out. So we have to depend on RNG here. So we look at our void fissures that are active. None of these are disruption. Okay, there's a disruption right there. So that would be one that we'd maybe go for. For Steel Path, there's a Steel Path Neo disruption. That could work technically too. So let's get into the strategy on Olympus, or whatever disruption fissure that is currently active for you, and how you can farm this up and why we're getting so many traces. We'll show every little gear item here. So basically with this strategy, you can expect to get 1,800 traces in about an hour and a half, which is going to be the maximum amount of traces the LR4 player can hold. So, what you should be doing, you should be seeking out disruption fissure missions on either the steel path or the normal path. I'd say go for the steel path because you can get steel essence too. But the reason for this is that in a endurance fissure mission, or rather an endless fissure mission, so we're talking survivals, defense, interception, disruption, etc., etc., they want to incentivize you to stay in the mission for longer. So as you open relics in these missions, you will get built-in little mini boosters, I guess I'd call them. So for example, let's go ahead and get to the next relic opened here. Okay, so once this relic is open, I'll get 104, I think it's 104 traces from this open. Yeah, so 104 traces, so another rad relic just from opening the relic. And as time goes on, you're going to get more relics back from these endurance fissures. Okay, there's the last acolyte. We're just going to open these keys. Now, once you've completed this wave, you will see a booster built in at the bottom. So there we go, in between waves. Okay, so I'm going to pause it right here. Never mind the fact that we got 2 gold parts of a minimal value, actually. So this right here is what I'm looking for. So endless bonus resource booster, 23 relics open. As you can see right there, that orange resource booster was not at the beginning of the mission. We have gotten this from going further into the mission. So as we go there further and further, these boosters get stacked more and more, and you get ridiculous amounts of traces. And it really does boil down to, like, in about 90 minutes, with a Smita Kavat and a booster, you're getting, like, ridiculous amounts like this. So, as I said, I can only hold 1,800 traces. In 1 hour, 31 minutes, and 8 seconds, we got 1,842 traces. So more than I can even hold. So this is the Olympus mission. As you can see, we're getting lots of relics back too. So we're opening lith relics and we're getting Meso relics back. As far as the, like, you know, the tier of all these relics and all that, Mesos are considered more rare and valuable than lith, I suppose, because there's more. Lith are easier to get, basically. Lith can come from a level 5 mission, Meso comes from a level 20 mission. So yeah, do disruption fissures, and preferably go there for a long time. Now, what I've been doing, guys, I'm not going to like level 10,000. I only go to level 10,000 when I like do like a build video or whatever, or like I want to test on a weapon. These are not like, oh man, just flex the level 10,000 run. No, these are just to go to maximum void traces. Once I get 1,800 void traces, we're out of here. So that's the thing. It's going to level 10,000 is going to be not really worth your time here unless you like want to get like a clip or something, because you cannot go above 1,800 traces. And if the game gives you, if you get 3,000, let's say you get 3,000 traces. I got 3,000 traces from a run the other day. It will just, those extra 1,200 are just completely wasted. So I would not recommend going that far in a disruption fissure unless you just want to open a bunch of relics, because this is a fast way to open relics. That's actually the reason why I'm suggesting this over like a survival or whatever, is the rotations in disruption take like 3 minutes or that, if that, with relics. So as long as you can organize your team, tell your teammates, all right guys, do not kill corrupted enemies in between rounds, because we want to keep them around for the reactant. Additionally, do not put the last key into the last tower until everybody has like 9 or 10 reactant. So once you've done that, everyone will get their relic open. Everyone will be, up and able to go destroy the Demolisks with you. It's going to be a lot more better if you organize with your team, telling people ahead of time, hey guys, don't kill corrupted in between waves because we need them for reactant. It will make the waves go faster too if you have corrupted on the map already preemptively dropping a reactant for you. So there's another 60 traces. So 60's on the lower end for sure. Let's go ahead and show all the gear you can get, or you should use, to get this maximum amount of traces. And we'll show an alternate strategy as well if you don't want to be doing disruption, because I know a lot of people don't like disruption. All right, so let's get into the ship right now, and I'm going to show you the all the loot boosting gear you should be using for the big traces. So we're in the ship. Now, number one thing you want to start with, and this is, everyone in the team should have this, is going to be the orange resource drop amount booster. So this one right here, resource booster, this is going to be your first step. This will double up your traces, and it will help you get to that 432 that you're hopefully wanting to get to. So yeah, that's great. If there was for some reason a double resource weekend or whatever that DE gave to us, that would stack on top of this for 4 times the amount of traces. So let's start with that. You want to get the resource drop amount booster in the market. Moving on to the next piece of gear, you're going to want a Smita Kavat. That 432 definitely was contributed by Count Kirby there, my Smita Kavat. And he might look like a Vaska Kavat, but he's actually a Vaska Smita hybrid. He has the appearance of a vampire cat, but the abilities of a Smita cat. So yeah, he's also missing a mod apparently too. So let's go ahead and show what is the biggest deal here with these traces dropping. It's going to be Charm. Smita Kavat has a 28% chance every 27 seconds to bestow the owner with good fortune. That means it can give you double loot. Additionally, that double loot buff can stack on top of itself for 4 times loot, or maybe even 8 times loot if you were super lucky. So make sure you got Smita Kavat with the Charm ability. Additionally, you want to make sure that Smita Kavat is alive as much as possible, because if it dies every 27 seconds, it's probably not going to be able to be giving you that buff over and over again. Now, as far as the build, this is a build for low levels. I would not recommend this one for what we were doing. Probably would go with something like this, actually, if you're doing disruption, because this is going to be hasten deflection, give the cat some more shield gating, aerial bond. If the cat ever goes down, get some airborne kills to revive the cat instantly, and hopefully it will give you the cat buff right away. Momentous bond, killing an Xmas brings the cat back from the dead, like instantly, and yeah, just make sure the cat doesn't die, basically. Tech enhance for a longer duration cat buff. Medi pet kit, so your respawn timer is already lower, so like 1 momentous bond kill and it's back from the dead. So really easy stuff here. It's just the cat, basically. If you can change the build too if you want to put on like tech assault. That would be a 60% chance to not die. But the way I look at it is that I'm reviving it so quickly anyway with aerial bond. I don't need tech assault. That's going to be the main 2 things you guys need. Are going to be the resource booster from the market and the Smita Kavat. If you don't have a Smita Kavat, you will definitely be getting less, because RNG is RNG. The amount of drops from these traces are RNG. I think it like varies from like 6 to 30, and then the cat buff on top of that can make it like 60, and then another cat buff can make that more and more. So you see where these multipliers are coming in to give you tons and tons of traces. So there's the strategy I want to tell you guys about, the disruption fissures, and I'll show an alternate route for people that don't like to do disruption. So here's a result of I call this a good run of an exterminate. So we got 115 traces in 2 minutes. And by the way, don't expect that to happen every time. So for this one, you're going to be using basically capture missions, exterminate missions, preferably on like Titania or a frame like that. You want to be running through the mission as quickly as possible. And that's going to mean you can get the drops as quickly as possible too. Now, it looks like I was forced to play Relic on stream, so I don't really have much Titania footage, but I'll put a link to my Titania video in the description down below. Basically, yeah, just fly through use the Neutron Star or Thermal Sunder Titania, and just blast through the mission as quickly as possible. That's going to be like, like a minute or two per mission. The traces from those missions could be extremely low, but you're doing them really quickly and you're opening relics really quickly too. Compared to a really good Team of Disruption, it will be comparable. Relic time to relics opened, but in this Disruption fissure, like I said, you're getting a lot more other stuff. You're getting a lot more traces, like bulk traces. And you're not having, also less loading screens technically too. Now there's loading screens in between the ways when you pick the relics, but for like a capture, it's like, okay, go to space, re-click the relic, fly back in, fly back out. It's a lot of loading screens for capture missions and exterminate missions too. So I'd say prefer these. Like the number one I'm doing here is Olympus Disruption. As far as builds and frames, I'm going to link Zombie Ash in the description. I'm going to link Zombie Revenant in the description. Those are some of the main builds I'd recommend using for this. But, there's plenty of options, too. So, whatever you're comfortable playing Disruption missions with. And like I said, you don't need to go level 10,000, guys. The level 10,000 is like, it's overkill for what we're doing here. We're only farming traces. So, once you get to 1,800 traces or you get to 1,000 traces, just tell your team, all right, guys, I have to, or ask them, how many traces do you guys have maxed out traces? Is it time to leave yet? And if it is time to leave, maybe you can even sneak in another disruption before it goes away, because you're only going to be there for like an hour and a half. And the fissures usually last I guess they can last like an hour and 45, so you could maybe squeeze in two. But yeah, really just be looking out for those disruption fissures. And like I said, on the steel path, you'll be getting increased. So those built-in boosters work on steel essence too. So when you're in a steel path fissure for long enough, the acolytes start dropping 8 steel essence per kill if you have a resource drop amount booster. And that's before Smita. So with Smita, it would be like 16. In the clip earlier, I had 32 steel essence from one acolyte kill. So we're talking big resources and big, technically big plat too, because you're getting lots of rad relics from this, or rather you're refining lots of relics to make them rad. That'll make your gold parts drop more often, so it's just a win-win. So see you guys in the next video. Hopefully you found this one fun and helpful. Yeah, you can get, I think it was 1,800 traces in like an hour and a half. That's like basically 100 traces a minute, so not too bad. See you guys next time. Appreciate your support. Take it easy. Peace.